In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to multiply numbers. So what I would like to do is I would like to multiply this value, the value in this cell, which is 920, by the value in this cell, which is 25. So this cell is B2 and this cell is D5. So one thing to keep in mind and to remember is that when we're using Excel, we're not actually multiplying the numbers themselves. We're multiplying the number that lives inside of a cell. So what I mean by that is if I click in this cell, I can enter in my multiplication table, or my multiplication function, I'm sorry. And to do that, I'm going to type in the equal sign. And then I'm not going to type in 920. Instead, I'm actually going to click on the cell because I would like to multiply whatever number happens to be in that cell, just in case later on I might change that number. So I've typed in the equal sign and I've clicked on cell B2. Now for multiplication in Excel, multiplication is represented by an asterisk symbol. So I'm going to hold in my shift key and I'm going to press the number 8, and the asterisk is above the number 8, so whenever you use the shift key and the number 8 you'll get the asterisk. Now I'm going to click on cell D5 because I want to multiply the number that is inside of cell D5, not the 25. So remember, whenever we're entering formulas in Excel, we're going to reference the cells themselves, and that way when we change the numbers later on, we still get our multiplication, and it's not dependent on the number itself. So it's dependent on the cell. So if you remember in an earlier tutorial, remember that Excel references data by the data that lives inside of the box or inside of the cell. So in essence, what this formula is saying is multiply whatever number lives inside of cell B2 by whatever number lives inside of cell D5. So at this point I'm finished entering in my formula. I have the option of I can either press enter or I can click on this little check mark. And this is just another way of saying enter. So if I click on this little check mark, notice that it gives me the answer to my formula. So let's do that one more time for practice. So I'm going to type my equal sign. I'm going to click on cell B3. I'm going to type in my multiplication symbol, which is an asterisk, and then I'm going to click on cell D5. In future tutorials I'll show you a faster way of doing this, but this is just for us to learn at this point how to enter in multiplication functions. So I'm going to press enter, and a calculation and a function, they're separate, but a calculation is basically just adding or multiplying numbers together. A function is just referencing cells inside of Excel that we're going to do those calculations on. So when you hear me say calculation or function, they're kind of interchangeable. So let's do that again. I'm going to type in my equal sign. I'm going to click on cell B4. I'm going to type in the asterisk for multiplication, and then I'm going to click on cell D5 and I'm going to press enter. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to press my equal sign. I'm going to click on cell B5. I'm going to type in my asterisk for my multiplication symbol, and then I'm going to click on cell D5. This time, instead of pressing enter, I'm going to click on the little check mark because again, that's just another way of saying enter, and it gives me my answer. So that's how we would perform a multiplication calculation inside of Excel using a formula. So please join me for future tutorials.